Hello all, this is Halloween, and if you love cemeteries and haunted places as much as I do, you may want to subscribe because I'm going to be taking you somewhere new every week. In today's episode, we are headed to Fruitville to visit Temple Beth Shalom. It's a Jewish cemetery there in Fruitville. Now, we were recently hit with Tropical Storm Debby. It actually ended up being a Category 1 hurricane by the time it hit landfall. And this area just outside of Sarasota, called Fruitville, got quite a bit of flooding and some trees down and things like that. So I did not have a costume video last week because our Wi-Fi was down from the storm. So as of this week, I will resume costumes just in case you've been looking out for that. And today we're going to this beautiful cemetery. I hope y'all enjoy. We're here at Temple Beth Shalom, founded in 1932. This is a Jewish cemetery in Fruitville, Florida. Let's go in and see what we can see. This cemetery is just beautiful. 1932, so it's a newer cemetery. It's not super old, but look, I already see a cool last name. One Mr. Edward K. Hamburger. That's awesome. But yes, this is a Jewish cemetery. It just has all the shade and the trees, the little box hedges in the middle. It's quaint. It's not a huge cemetery. There's this beautiful, look at this beautiful mausoleum here. These are the pavers. Mildred, Martin, and Paul Paver. And then there's a Stanley D. Paver and a Doris Paver as well. So a whole family in here. Really cool. And then a little bench right out here. I love the detail in the marble. It's just so pretty. And I love that peach marble anyway. But even details here on the side. It's just carved out of that marble. Really pretty. Not 100% sure if we're allowed in here, but it was open. I mean, the gate wasn't open, but it said, please close gate before leaving. It said no trespassing, but I don't know that what I'm doing is trespassing. I'm a visitor of the cemetery. Really pretty. A lot of veterans, it looks like. People were here putting flags on the veterans' headstones. I think it was Veterans Day that just passed not too long ago. But this is really stunning. You can see some trees and debris from the storm that just came through here. Hurricane Debby. So we've seen some flooding on the way out here, and there's some debris in the cemetery, but I bet it's otherwise just perfection. It's just beautiful. The green, lush grass and all these trees just kind of canopying in the cemetery really makes it for a nice stroll through the cemetery. I'm back here in the right front corner of the cemetery, and there's this perfect spot that's all enclosed in box hedges right underneath this huge tree. It's beautiful. It's great for a final resting place. You don't have the sun beating right down on you, you know. I mean, not that you care, right? These people are no longer with us, but I mean, it's nice for the family to be able to come and visit their loved ones without having a heat stroke, you know. So some of these cemeteries, they need some trees or something because it's too hot in Florida for that. Now out here, you know, there's not much shade in this spot. As you can see, the sun's just bearing down on this area, but all that side of the cemetery, that half is all a lot of trees and really pretty. You know, I haven't been able to get into a lot of the Jewish cemeteries because I think they are closed on Sundays that are a mixture, but not like 100% Jewish. Like the Beth Israel Cemetery in Tampa was one of them, and we went to one in Pinellas Park. The Oak Hill Cemetery in Pinellas had also a Jewish section of their cemetery. Well, this is just really nice, and I was worried we'd be messed with for coming in here. But like I said, the gate's open. It says no trespassing, but I think they're actually talking about like homeless people or people making trouble, you know, things like that. We're just here visiting, so I think it's okay. Still, like, you still wonder, am I doing something wrong here? Look at all of these stones left for the departed here. People paint rocks. They've painted rocks and left them here for their loved one. All of them are different. That's pretty cool. It says a piece of my gone. Piece of me gone, I'm sure they meant. I love you, Mom. Love. And there's more rocks down here. Soft ground right here. Forever missing you, Mom. Somewhere over the rainbow. There's a crystal there. Faith. Oh, she just passed away. Barbara Eichenblatt. Born 1941, passed in 2024. The ground is very soft over there. It doesn't say what month she passed, but I mean 2024, we're in the 8th month now, so that was very recent. at the other half of the cemetery over here. It appears that this leaving rocks tradition on the departed graves, that's kind of a Jewish thing. I've also seen it some in African American cemeteries. So, but there's definitely a lot of that here. And I think I recall at Oak Hill Cemetery in the Jewish section that I saw that too. So it's definitely a very Jewish tradition. As you can see here, they've left stones on the top of their loved ones' memorial. I think that's a really cool and clean way too to visit your loved one, rather than bringing all this stuff and offerings and fake flowers, and you know, it looks a lot neater, a little more cleaner. You don't have to really worry about the flowers dying or looking dingy and changing them out. It's just a very neat practice. Keeps the grounds looking nice. Here's another one. Wow, they've had a lot of visits. This one's had a lot of visits. Simon. Beautiful. This is the nice side, over under all the trees. And there's a cool breeze in the air from the storm. They have a Holocaust memorial here, which is awesome. Remember, never forget, in memory of the 6 million. That's awesome. I think they're taking, a lot of people would take the rocks from this memorial to place on their loved one's grave. Because they've taken rocks and put it right up on the Holocaust memorial. And if you haven't been and you're in St. Pete and you're visiting and you are into museums and things like that, they really have a beautiful Holocaust museum in downtown St. Petersburg that you can go check out. It's very touching. It's just a really good museum. This one here is covered in cheesecloth. I wonder why they covered it up like that. I wonder if they came out and, you know, to protect it from the storm or whatever. But it's got the rocks. There's a really pretty rock down there, a heart-shaped blown glass rock. Yeah, I wonder what that's for. There's a lot of planes coming right through here. But this is the whole cemetery. It's not real big, but it's beautiful. So we weren't messed with or anything for being in here. I think it's fine. They're more specifically talking about, you know, people that are in here causing trouble or doing, you know, even just homeless. A lot of homeless people will go and to the cemeteries and eat and whatever and leave litter behind. So I think that's basically what they're more talking about. But you can come visit the cemetery as long as you're abiding by the cemetery rules. Here's some more that are covered in cheesecloth. There's a couple more out here. Huh. I don't know why. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I hope you loved today's episode. I thought that this cemetery was so charming and beautiful. It's all canopied in with trees. And these Jewish cemeteries usually are really beautiful. But I learned some things about Jewish tradition. We saw some of these headstones that were covered in cheesecloth. And basically they call that a veiling. And it's where the family, once the departed is laid to rest, they place a veil that's basically cheesecloth over the departed's headstone. And after the Kaddish mourning period, which is a Jewish tradition, So it usually takes place within a year of the deceased departure, and they'll have basically this period of mourning, and then they revisit the headstone and the cemetery where the departed is buried. They do an unveiling. They each place a stone on the departed's grave to let them know that they did visit, and that's where the stones all come from. And probably every time a Jewish person comes to visit a departed loved one, they're probably leaving stones as well. But especially in this ceremony, following the Kaddish mourning period, they will come and leave a stone. I also found out that in Judaism, they do not believe in embalming. So they never have an open casket or anything like that. It's always a closed casket funeral that takes place. An open casket violates the modesty of the deceased. So it's another reason that they choose to have a closed casket, because basically you can see them, but they can't look back at you. I just thought that was really interesting. I did not know that. So I'm always learning something new going out and doing this, and I just thought that was very fascinating, learning about the Jewish burial practices. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a beautiful cemetery. Their tribute to the Holocaust was really awesome. And again, if you are in the St. Petersburg area and you like museums, you're looking for something to do, I do have a video on it as well, but you can visit the St. Petersburg Holocaust Museum. It's an outstanding museum, and I think you'll really enjoy it. Anyway, that does it for today's episode. If you haven't already, please remember to like, subscribe, and share the video, and I'll see you next time.